Hi guys, welcome to the Messy Drawer. It is episode 7 now. Is it episode
9.
Oh,
9.
we're on 9. We've done 9 episodes. Wow. Okay, we're on episode 9, and so today we're going to be talking about COVID-19, what everyone else is talking about. But before I get started on that, Arifa's not joining us today, and she's not going to be here for a little while. She's just focusing on a couple of other things, but it's okay. You've got us, and we're here to hold the fort down. So yeah. Right, so coronavirus, COVID-19. Coronavirus.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
It's the Cardiff voice.
It is. Did you guys expect it when it happened?
What do you mean expect, like the lockdown to last this long?
At the beginning of lockdown when it started happening, and I feel like everyone was like, is there going to be a lockdown? What even is a lockdown? And then suddenly it was announced, and it was just like, suddenly, nothing, like we're all contained at home now.
Well, on my work, because businesses had to prepare for it a lot earlier than individuals were. So on my work, what they were doing was look at what Ireland was doing, because Ireland was like 1 week ahead of us in the terms of preparation. And so they're always looking at what they were doing. And if a new restriction was announced in Ireland, it was expected to be announced in England a week later, whatever they did. So that was kind of like what they were looking at. Everything we expected it a week before it happened.
Mm-hmm.
But with lockdown, we didn't expect it to be bam, bam like that. Well, I didn't. On my work, what they did was they told us that because the foot traffic had reduced significantly and they didn't need that much staff anymore. So they said it would be reduced. So full-time people's hours would be reduced to, let's say, 3 or 2 days, whereas part-timers would be like put on hold for a bit. And I think 3 days after that conversation had happened and everyone's hours had changed, lockdown happened.
Yeah, we did something like that. So I work in like let's say a family business, which is kind of entrepreneurial. So for us, it was like we actually did have to reduce staff's hours, and then suddenly it was like, well, what was the point? Everything's come down anyways. What about you, Sharon?
Well, I do admin work, so I work in an office and I don't deal with the public, so we kept going. I kept going. But we're doing like people working from home and people working in office. We were given a choice. But during lockdown, it was week on, week off, because they hadn't ordered the laptops yet. Yeah. So it stayed the same for me. I didn't really feel it.
I feel like I felt it way more because I live at home, whereas you guys don't, if you know what I mean. So I was like, I came home and I was surrounded by the same 4 other people every single day. And it was like, every day just felt like a fucking adventure. Like, what are we going to do today? Pardon?
I think that was felt by everybody, just seeing the same person
over and over again.
Really?
People were.
How did you guys cope with that? How did you guys cope with that? What did you guys do like throughout the whole day? For me, I was working week on, week off. My week off was like a luxury. I enjoyed it. I took it in because I'm like, next week I'm going to be back at work.
It was like a week holiday for you.
Yeah.
A week of work. That was, you know what? I did work though during, like, a lot of what I did was like, people were basically using donations to buy scrubs material to make scrubs and donate them to the hospitals because everybody was really low on PPE. So I was just the middleman where I was arranging deliveries for scrubs material to people who would make them. So although I didn't work in the traditional sense, I didn't have like a 9 to 5, I went into work like 3 or 4 times a week to arrange the deliveries. I still got like a bit of a work life. It wasn't like I was just at home.
Yeah.
But I was really glad.
Did you guys like, I know me and Gunter tried to do like a to-do list to do like workouts and have better diets and read books.
To-do list. I had this beautiful to-do list of my day from 8 in the morning till 8 at night. When to eat, when to exercise, when to do what.
And how did it work out?
I did it for half a day, I think.
Honestly, I did
It's
the
hard
same
to find
thing.
motivation. Yeah, it's hard to find motivation when
I was so prepared. I was like, this is but weirdly enough, I lost a lot of weight in lockdown, whereas most people gain weight.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I stopped eating so much. I was
Same.
like, I'm not moving as much, so I need to really limit how much I'm, because we're not moving, and we're not like on a daily basis. You would like walk to work, or you do this, or you do that. Because I'm not doing that. I was like, I need to consciously eat a little bit less, because I'm not using up.
And when you're bored, you eat out of boredom. So you had to really watch what you were doing.
Not to.
I wasn't even thinking about that at work. I'm constantly on my feet, right? 9 hours of just on your feet. And I was using a lot of energy, so I needed a lot more food to sustain me. But here, I was just at home. I'll just like forget to eat because I wasn't hungry. I wasn't using any energy. And whatever I ate, after like a couple of bites, I was full.
That's crazy. I had to tell myself not to eat. You just forgot to eat.
Yeah, because there was no need for me to eat. I know that sounds weird and awful, but I wasn't doing anything.
Did you exercise?
I tried to do a bit of yoga.
Did you guys go for a walk?
It's hard. Everything at home is hard.
It is.
You know,
Did you guys go for walks?
I did, just to stretch my legs and things like that. But
like
I don't really do that on my normal day anyway. So
you don't go? You know, neither do I. I don't normally go for a walk, but I feel like during lockdown, I was like obsessed with like going out and going for a walk and catching the sunset, just to feel like I'd accomplished something. I'd seen the day through.
Everyone was doing something like out of their normal.
Yeah. We're doing challenges like the 5K run.
Yeah.
People do so much that they don't normally do. I don't particularly enjoy the outdoors.
You look like you would though, Najma.
You do. You look like you'd like that sort of thing.
Yeah, you look like you enjoy camping and hiking and.
No, I don't like it. In fact,
you look like you will enjoy living on a farm as well.
Oh my god, yes, with like boots, you know, like not are they called cowboy boots? No,
I feel like you go countryside, and
I like the farm chic outfit, but that's where my first end. But I'm not very big fan of great walks and things like that.
You're a homebody.
In the comfort of my own home. I know some people say, "Oh, I would rather be climbing a mountain than say a beach." Leave me on a beach for a month.
Who said that? Who said that?
To be honest, if I'm on a beach, I'm not sat down doing nothing. I'm still like walking around on the beach. I'm still like exploring the beach. I'm not like
if I'm on the beach, I'm doing the water activities, or I'm taking in the sun.
Yeah, I'm getting that vitamin D. Dipping in the ocean to cool that and then coming out and repeating. Yeah. I'm happy to do that for the rest of my life.
With a cocktail. Yeah. Oh my god.
Jesus. So what sort of like coping mechanisms did you guys use apart from like, so I went for walks, and for example, I made a lot of like this freaking Danish apple cake. I made it bare times. Apple, cinnamon, put it in a cake. I made it like 10 times at least during lockdown.
Do you know my coping mechanism? I hardly ever drink wine just to drink wine, but during lockdown, I promise I had it like every night.
I remember actually. I remember us talking, and you'd always have like.
Because I remember talking to some of my colleagues, and they're like, they have wine with their dinner every day, and I'm like, who does that?
Mad.
Oh, little did I know. Little did I know. Yeah, so I think that was mine, and obviously Zoom.
So much Zoom.
Thank you, Jesus, for Zoom, because
we did so many Zoom quizzes. It's crazy.
And
it's actually during those Zooms that this podcast idea was born.
I know.
That's very true. Very, very true. I think we was FaceTiming / Zooming like twice a week, maybe.
It was actually quite a lot.
Talking a lot.
I look forward to it.
But how
the quiz?
So you're engaged, and so you were seeing your partner like every day, all the time. Was your partner also home?
Yes. He still is working from home, so he's been working from home. So he never really had a like not working. He's been working every day other than the weekends ever since. But I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, seeing the same person 24/7, I'm gonna die. Gonna like break up with him. And everyone was either getting pregnant or divorced.
Literally, I kept on hearing that.
Which one did you do?
Neither of us. And it's really nice. I feel like we got to know each other a lot more. We've been together for a very long time, but even then, we didn't argue anything. We just like chat, and like he didn't have the stress of work or commute. I didn't have the stress of work. It was actually quite nice to like see each other, be free.
With like no like, do you feel like your stresses weren't there? Less stressful?
Yeah, I mean, like he works in London, so he commutes back and forth, and that always put a lot of stress on him. Like he didn't enjoy the commute, and you guys know him; he's not very chatty person, so he didn't like
that
any
commute
of it.
is not cute.
Yeah.
But can I ask a question? How did you try to like keep yourself up to look cute at home? And
I always do.
I like that. I like that. Because some people obviously get comfortable, do you know what I mean? When people are not going anywhere, they don't feel the need to...
No, I got dressed up a couple of times during lockdown. I was like, not even more than a couple. Like, I just felt the need to just get...
I just even take pictures.
I would do my makeup like proper, like do a glam makeup. And it just made me happier, you know. Also,
I like that.
For him, but it just made me feel like... Because the first week was all right. It was cute to be home, do nothing. The second week, okay. After that, things were starting to get really like on top of me, because I'm a very sociable person. I don't like not having anyone to talk to. So it was kind of getting to me. So it did make me happy to like just put on clothes, do my makeup. It made me feel better about myself. So it's easy to fall into that, like I have nothing to do, so why bother?
I hate it when I hear women say that, and obviously each to their own. But I feel like just because you're not going anywhere does not mean you should. For me, anyway.
I think it's important for effort.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Even like now I won't talk about my colleagues, but like certain people, let's say if you're working from home, they will just stay in their pajamas and work from home the whole day.
Yeah.
Or
you just wouldn't bother to get dressed.
Yeah, or some people have been in a relationship for a long time, they just get comfortable. I guess that's what I'm saying. People get comfortable and just don't make an effort anymore. I feel like even if I'm at home and I've got the house to myself, I don't want to stay in my pajamas the whole day.
No, I don't want to stay.
I stay in my pajamas the whole day. I want to smell.
I want to stay in my pajamas, and we have this Somali thingy, party thing, and it's so comfortable to just sit in it and you can tuck your hands in and your feet in, and even if you feel you can tuck your head in, it's so comfortable. There are some days when I'm in that mood, not gonna lie, and I love it.
No, of course, but I'm saying for that to be constant,
I feel like
to me personally, I wouldn't.
People get stuck in a rut. Like one day it'll be shit, and then it'll just keep on going and going and going, and they won't know how to climb out of it. And like that's what happened, I thought, for a lot of people during lockdown.
Especially when women have given birth. A lot of women after they've given birth, they do say like they find it hard to get their sexy.
Their sex back on, and it's kind of the same thing, because
they become very like in their mummy
zone, and they're just at home, domestic.
A lot of women, when they become mothers, they forget who they are or who they were. Their entire purpose in life becomes being a mother, and I would hate that. Like, you were a human being before you became a mother. Like, don't forget that.
But being in lockdown, kind of, I'm not saying that's it was that, but I'm saying it wasn't unsimilar to suddenly not having this. Because a career or your work is a very big part of your life, even though your social life is very big, and your partner and going out and all of that sort of thing, your work is also a massive chunk of your day, every day, usually 5 days a week.
It's like
It's
So
the
to
biggest.
have
Most
that
of the
taken
time,
away
yeah.
from you, it's like
Mm.
that's a loss of identity as well. And then to be sat at home for like 5 weeks without that purpose, and to be like, you have no purpose, just sit at home.
I agree.
Hard.
I agree. I agree, as I said before, like obviously being at home for me personally, if I'm not busy, if I don't have something to do, I lose motivation.
Yeah.
I can't. So I get why people fall into that funk and not take care of themselves and just sit there and look and be lazy. And do you know what I mean? But
Not know how to make an effort. Yeah.
but as you said, like once you fall into it, it can be hard.
Hard to get out. And there was a time, actually, to just I feel like I'm airing my dirty laundry here. There was a time when I fell into, I mean, it was when I was in my second year of uni, awfully time. I do not recommend it.
How do you skip second year?
Skip second year.
I fell into a horrendous, right. And I think it's maybe I just didn't like myself, and I would just sit in my room with
You didn't know
so
who
much
you
work
are.
done, and I would just think like, what has happened? And I just sit there literally like wondering where the Najma I knew went.
Mm. But I want to speak on that, just to go away from COVID. We'll come back to it. Do you know how you just said that you didn't like yourself, so you didn't take care of yourself?
Mm.
Do you believe that okay, I'm just going to give this example, like people who are on the bigger side, they always say show them love instead of bullying them, because people say when you love yourself, that's when you would
Invest in yourself.
yeah, that's when you go out and lose weight, I'll make yourself better,
You care for yourself.
whatever it is that you want to make better. Yeah. So do you
Yeah, 100%. Like
do you
for
think
me,
that's what causes it, not loving yourself?
I lost a lot, not I lost. I gained a lot of weight in my second year of uni, and because I wasn't really taking care of myself, like I was just like, what's the
Because you
point?
didn't love yourself?
No, well, I didn't think highly of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I disliked myself or anything, but just I didn't see the point in anything I did. I didn't value myself.
I agree with you. It's not that you don't. It's not.
Love-
It's not that you don't love yourself. It's that your lack of purpose means
Yeah.
that you lose sight of the value of yourself. You
But isn't that
forget-
not loving yourself?
I don't know. To say you don't love yourself is a much bigger statement than to say you just lost
the value that you
lost the value that you thought you had. I still loved myself in second year. I couldn't see how important these things that used to me, these things that were so important to me before, suddenly weren't important to me anymore. Like,
But why?
good.
My question is why?
The things I loved about myself were kind of going away.
But what caused that is my question. Why?
I don't think it's a loss of love. I can tell you that. I don't think it was a loss of love.
Yeah, I still loved myself dearly, but I think what caused it, for me, it was a combination of a lot of things. I mean, medication combined with, God, horrendous year.
Yeah. Because to me, when I don't feel the best about myself, this is just me personally. For me, it would be because I don't love myself in that moment. Why I would lose motivation for everything else as well. It could start off from work as well. And obviously, as Gunchin said, sometimes we do see we put a purpose into our work. So if you don't feel like you're fulfilling yourself or you're not satisfying yourself, that's going to, for me, lead to me disliking myself, looking at myself different. Because to me, when I love myself, that's when I'm happiest. And when I'm happiest, that's when I do the most. And I achieve more when I love myself than when I'm going through like a phase of like insecurity.
I can't say that I don't love myself or I dislike myself or anything like that. I still loved myself. It's just the things that I valued about myself were no longer that important. Like, for example, you guys know when I was in school, I loved the way I looked. I loved the way I talked. I put a lot of who I was on my friends and everything, and the way, and all of that went away all of a sudden.
Like,
I didn't have my
respect as opposed to lack of love then.
Yeah, more or less. I would say that a bit more. I don't respect myself as much than I used to. But I love myself.
I mean, okay. But to me, I feel like they go hand in hand.
You can love someone and bloody disrespect them. Let me tell you that.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Have you seen children? Have you seen children?
You can respect someone without loving them, but you can't love something you don't respect. I don't think you can.
I think you can love someone and not treat them.
That you don't respect?
You can't love someone without respecting them, but you
Yeah.
can't love them and disrespect them.
Yeah, I'm with Gunjan on this one.
To be disrespectful towards someone doesn't have to be a long
No, to me, how can I say I love you, but I don't respect you?
No, I'm not saying you don't long-term respect them. I'm saying there can be instances where you're really disrespectful. That doesn't mean that you don't love them. To say that you lashed out and were disrespectful to someone isn't to say...
No, that's different. That's not what I'm talking about. But to me, I'm saying love and respect go together, because to me, to respect someone is to love them, to me.
But for you, you put emphasis on respect because respect is so important to you. You cannot love someone you don't respect.
I cannot love someone I don't respect.
Yeah, but some people, they don't give a shit about respect. They treat people like shit, but love
That's
them.
why I'm speaking for me personally.
Yeah.
But to me, it doesn't make sense. How can you say you love me, but you don't respect me?
Yeah, because for you, respect means a lot.
Yeah.
You'd rather be respected than loved.
100%.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect me. What? Are you okay? Yeah. Okay. No, to me, like as you said, like when you're happy, you project it on other people. You want to do better in your life. So to me, when I feel
the main contributor that happened during lockdown, I think with a lot of people and with university students, is that loss of identity.
A lot of people lost their jobs, man.
Yeah,
a lot of people lost their jobs, and a lot of people
things that made
still haven't sorted that situation out. Like 3 or 4 months.
Some people, their work was not for some people, like for almost everyone. You spend more time at work than you do with anyone else.
Yeah.
When you're at home, you either sleep in or it's like few hours. You spend most of your time with the people you work with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So it was a loss of
the routine. You've been doing. A lot of people have been working for years, and for that to be taken away, it's gonna definitely affect them and their confidence.
And a lot of students were like, they didn't know what the fuck was going on in terms of like A-level students and GCSE students, and also university students as well, who were supposed to have exams and coursework and stuff that was due and stuff. A lot of it just sort of didn't matter anymore in the grand scheme of things because people were dying from COVID-19.
There's bigger things to worry about. But what do you guys think about the whole A-level situation, GCSE situation?
Bureaucratic fuck up.
Yeah, I just think it really screwed some people over that it shouldn't have. People who'd been working their ass off, and it just really screwed them over because they're stuck with grades in a system that didn't even make sense. Because it was all based on what everyone else was.
They're really hard from March all the way to July where the results come out, and they picked the best on the worst thing possible.
Literally.
Postcode.
They have to come up with a way around it.
Exactly.
Classism, like postcode. Like what's postcode got to do with my intelligence?
I don't know, man.
Bless them.
Learned like how many banana breads you have baked. What was the Zoom quiz? Did you make other friends? Because I made shitloads of friends. I didn't.
Actually, I made loads of. I'm not gonna lie. I made friends with not friends, but like clients and customers that reached out to me. Like we would have proper chats that we'd never had before because everyone was craving a bit of social interaction. They'd message me about a product or something, but we'd end up talking about 6 billion other things because they really needed that human connection.
It's so important. That's what I've learned during COVID, human. And I'm not like Nashma. I am a homebody, but I'm not too much like Nashma. I do like being on myself a lot of times, but Jesus Christ, even I have a limit of being by myself.
I like being at home, but at the same time, like today, I was having a bit of a problem. Like I'm at work all the time, right? And all I do is just talk and interact with people. And I come home and I just tell my partner, like, don't talk to me. Not that I'm mad or anything. I just want to be on my own and not just talk to anybody. And just be left
a moment
alone.
of quietness.
Yeah, like I reach a limit of how much human interactions I can take.
But then during lockdown, did you not find that
The opposite was
it
happening.
the opposite for you, where you were having too much space and too much peace and quiet, and you needed that interaction?
Yeah, and Sharon and I and a few of other friends, we were on Zoom doing quizzes, chatting about so much. Oh my God, we chat about so much. It was so random, but it really, really kept me sane.
But I think too much of anything is a bad thing. So it's having that balance, you know.
Yeah, I get what you mean. So what do you think what do you think COVID-19 made you grateful for?
Health. Let's start there.
Physical health.
You know, health. And personally for me, my job, because my job was guaranteed.
I am so grateful, and I have never been more grateful for anything in my life. For so far, anyways, no one I know has been touched by this disease.
Same. No one. I don't know anyone.
And I thank God every day for it.
Someone that I like, one of my customers, her sister passed away from it. So like that, when she told me about that reminded me how real.
Serious.
It doesn't feel real until it comes to you, or like you see it or you hear from it, like in relation to you. Do you get what I mean? COVID-19 did not feel as real until people started talking about it that I knew.
Twitter, honestly, every day was like, my dad died, my auntie died, my grandmother. It was painful.
Yeah. And then we stopped seeing that, because I remember I think the second, third week of lockdown, my Amazon packaging was coming. And I promise you not, like I touched it like that, you know, sprayed it.
We had a spray, we had a hand sanitizer spray, anything in the house. Oh, and someone had put up a video on Instagram where all your fruits and vegetables you'd bought from the market or from, you know, Tesco's, you'd put it in the sink and you put vinegar and it's sitting there for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
You could take out. Well, we were doing the most.
But right now, tell me why I'm meeting him at the door, like, give me my package.
I'm ready.
Like, I need to remember that it's still alive and well.
The second wave is upon us, and what do you call it? Young people are getting blamed.
Yeah, because they were socializing too much, and it's like, I think honestly, they tried to ease out of the lockdown so quickly. In my opinion, they tried to ease out so quickly.
Matt Hancock told us to go. He gave us money.
He literally gave you 50% off, eat out to help out. And now that people have come out of their shells because you've said it's okay to do so, and now suddenly you're blaming it on everyone. You said it was okay to go around each other's houses. You said it was okay to go to parks. You opened restaurants, for God's sake. Restaurants is a social eating space. People go there to eat and to hang out with people.
The opening wasn't enough. They encouraged people to. They literally told us, "Go, have some money."
50% off. Yeah, you think I'm going to a restaurant and eating on my own for 50% off? I'm not going with a friend. Honestly, it's so ridiculous. And now it's like, yeah, but
what have you done? You take
care. Misused it and really took advantage of it, but didn't.
I want to recommend. The thing is, it's not just this government annoys the hell out of me. I want to very grateful for that, what do you call it, furlough scheme, because that really helped. Because I put on furlough like thousands, if not millions of people in this country. And that was, if we didn't have, if I didn't have that income, life would have not been as easy. And that, I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't expect the government to do that, which is really good, and they did. And for that, I'm like, thank you, and really grateful to be in this country.
That was
America.
The furlough scheme was a good example of where the fuck our taxes are going. You get me? So. But
then the newspapers were saying furlough scheme is causing taxpayer. I'm like, I'm the fucking taxpayer, bitch, and I'm the one on the furlough.
So I'm all good.
No, it's causing taxpayer this and that. I'm like,
It's everyone then.
What
It's
are we
causing
paying
everyone.
tax for then, if not to
Only the
support us
people who
during
are on
crisis?
furlough, not the people who've been paying tax.
The whole point of tax is to support ourselves and each other through stuff like
But
this.
then, but now they're having a go at us for existing, for doing what they told us to do.
Yeah, but you know, there was also the grant. There was a grant scheme where all small businesses were given a grant somewhere between 10 to 25k, as long as you were registered for business rates, basically. And as someone who's part of a couple of small businesses, I can see how supportive that was towards the businesses, towards them paying rent and all these things, because as small businesses, right, for them, I think they took a really hard hit than bigger corporations in a lot of ways, because they didn't have any sort of support around them, because they're just startups. I know loads of like small scale designer companies and startups, and it was really helpful for them to just pay rent and stuff. Because honestly, one place that I work in, the landlord asked for 4 months rent up front in the second month of lockdown. I don't even think that's
some landlords,
landlords.
And honestly, there's no sympathy, there's no empathy, there's no like human, like honestly, no humanity. Honestly, it was ridiculous. So that sort of thing where the government came out and supported small businesses like that as well, I thought that was pretty cool too. Obviously, it's not enough. It's not enough to keep a whole business running, but it was a small contribution in a lot of ways.
Every little matters in this time.
Quickly,
Exactly.
do you think there'll be another lockdown?
Isn't that what's happening? Isn't it from Monday only like 6 people can hang out?
Not a lockdown, it's just that we cannot do more than 6 people.
Yeah.
Which is kind of good for me because October's coming up and everyone was inviting me out.
Sorry, can't come out.
Everyone is born between September and December.
I'm telling you.
You're one of them, Najma.
September always bankrupts me. I'm not even joking.
December bankrupts me. December
July bankrupts me.
kills me.
Jesus. But yeah, guys, stay safe, guys. COVID is still really real.
Yeah.
And we need to look out for each other.
And yeah, on that
note, stay messy, but use hand sanitizer as well.
Clean.
See you next week.
Next week.
Bye. Bye.